Hey guys, this is Molly from Colorful Freshwater Fish Tanks, and I wanted to show you guys my 10-gallon tank that I consider to be a perfect example of a betta tank. And I wanted to describe it a little bit so that if you're setting up your betta tank for the first time, you might get a few ideas. So this is my 10-gallon Aquarium glass betta tank, and it houses one female betta. She's back there. Her name is Susan. And then it houses a small school of strawberry rasboras, which are basically a pink version of chili rasboras. They're this teeny tiny schooling fish. They're also native to Southeast Asia like bettas, so they really require the same water parameters. So I think that a 10-gallon tank is the ideal size for a single betta. And as you can see, this tank has a lot of real plants in it, which oxygenates the water and helps improve water quality. Plants will absorb toxins and release things that are not toxic to fish. So here I have an Amazon sword that's not getting very big, but it is getting very bushy. Well, I should say it's not getting very tall, but it is getting very bushy. Here's another Amazon sword. Here we have an Anubias. And then we have lots and lots of Java fern kind of tucked away all over the place. And some propagations of Java fern that I've just pulled off and then I let them float. They attach to things. And then as you can see, I also have a water lettuce in here, which has the roots in the water to pull nitrates out of the water. And I have a lot of pothos with the roots in this tank. You can see their roots in the back. There and there. You can see on the top of the tank, there's some pothos leaves. There's some pothos leaves. And then I have 2 stalks of lucky bamboo in this tank as well, which also is growing up out of the tank. These are all semi-aquatic plants. So the first thing we have is the fact that it's 10 gallons. The second thing we have is that it has a lot of live plants in it. The third thing is that it's just densely planted in general. So it also has a lot of silk plants in between all of the live and fake plants. I also have some plastic grass over here and a plastic purple plant back there. Between all of the live and fake plants, it's pretty dense in here, which bettas like. They like to rest on things. They like to hide and to prowl around. So it's nice to not have too much of an open space in your tank for a betta. The next thing that I have here is a piece of mapani wood. You can see that big hunk of wood in there. And that's what gives this tank its tea-colored water. I wouldn't exactly call this a black water tank. It's not really that dark, but it does have a lot of tannins in it, and that's what comes off of the mapani wood. You can also use Indian almond leaves. There are several different types of wood that release tannins. And tannins have excellent properties for bettas. It mimics their natural environment, and it has antiseptic properties, so it will help keep your fish healthy in your tank. The next thing is that we have a heater in this tank. You need to have a heater for your betta. They need to be between about 78 degrees and 82 degrees. Hi, Susan. And so you also need to have a thermometer. This tank, it's hard to read this thermometer on video, but it hovers around 78 degrees. And that's a 50-watt Aquarium heater. And then the last thing is filtration. And this tank has 2 small filters. I have a small internal power filter back there. And over here on the ground, I have a small sponge filter. And so I like to have sponge filters and either hang-on back or internal power filters in all of my tanks that are larger than 5 gallons. I think that it really helps. I find that placing several slightly smaller filters around the tank keeps the water a lot clearer than just one large filter. And the bettas seem to like it because you can keep the tanks really clean but not have a super heavy flow on either of your filters. This filter, however, does have a pretty heavy flow, but fortunately Susan is a very strong swimmer. Otherwise I would have replaced it with something adjustable. And as you can see, Susan is flourishing in this tank, and I have managed to create a fun, colorful tank, in my opinion. You can see there are a lot of purple things in here. And I have these green and purple plastic gems all over the ground. I have natural substrate in this tank because the painted gravel that you can get at pet stores slowly releases that paint over time, and it's toxic to fish and water. I really don't recommend it. So this is a combination of natural gravel, glass pieces, and clay aquarium shrimp gravel. And then I have these plastic and glass accents on it so that I can get some color into my substrate without having something painted in my tank. And then I have a couple of little caves for Susan. I have this ceramic tea light warmer. I get these from the dollar store, and they're perfectly tank safe, although you always want to check things occasionally and make sure they're not deteriorating. And then I have this resin flower ball cave that I get these at Petco. My fish love them. They're basically just a sphere with a hole that goes through it. They love those things. And I don't love resin decorations because they do deteriorate over a very long time. But when I do partial water changes on my tanks, I check my resin decorations, and if they're starting to deteriorate or get soft, I pull them out. A lot of people will treat their resin decorations with Plasti Dip to make it last longer and to make it more tank safe, so that's another option. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys an example of what I consider to be a perfect betta tank, or at least pretty perfect. Like I said, the things you want to keep in mind are an adequate size. This is 10 gallons. Real plants to improve water quality. Dense planting with real and fake plants to give bettas a comfortable feel. A heater. Adequate filtration. Natural substrate, and then just have fun. You know, you can create something colorful, you can create something for yourself or for your kids that you're gonna love, and you can also create an environment for a betta to thrive in. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and please subscribe to my channel and check back in because I'll make more videos of Susan and her Rasbora pals. Thanks, guys.